Alright, we are graphing linear equations, a system of linear equations, and this is going to be method 1. So what we are going to do is, let me thicken this up just a little bit. There we go. I'm going to take the first equation, 2x minus y equals negative 1. And I'm going to solve for y. In order to do that, I need to subtract 2x from both sides. And then I have negative y equals, the negative 1 and the negative 2x are not alike terms. So I'm going to leave my negative 2x first, and then minus 1. Since I have a negative 1 in front of that y, I need to divide by negative 1, divide by negative 1, divide by negative 1. That gives me a positive y equals negative divided by a negative, leaves me with a positive 2x. A negative 1 divided by a negative 1 is a positive 1. So that means this is my slope, and this is my y-intercept for the first equation. So let's number these 1, that is 1, and now on to 2. We're going to do the same thing for 2. We have x plus y equals negative 2. I'm going to subtract x from both sides and leave y on the left-hand side. Again, I have a negative 1x and a minus 2. Those are not alike terms. So I will leave the negative x minus 2. I have a positive y value here, so I don't need to do anything else. The number that's understood is a negative 1 over 1, excuse me, x minus 2. And that means that my slope, m, is 1 over 1, and my y-intercept is negative 2. So I can graph the equations based on those two, which would be, if for 1 I go to positive 1, and then up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1, and then down 2, left 1, down 2, left 1. I have a line that looks, you almost can draw a line. Looks like that. For equation 2, I go to negative 2 on the y-axis, my y-intercept, and then it's down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. Going back to negative 2, I go up 1, left 1, up 1, left 1. And you can see with my bad drawing that those two lines cross at the point negative 1, negative 1. It's negative 1 on the x-axis, negative 1 on the x-axis, negative 1 on the y-axis. So that is my solution for the first one. The solution to the equation x equals negative 1. If I look at if I can go to it, there we go. So method 2. Method 2, I am going to take 2x minus y equals negative 1, and I'm going to state that x equals 0. You can do y equals 0 first, it doesn't matter. That means 2 times 0 minus y equals negative 1. Well, 2 times 0 is 0. That leaves the negative y equals negative 1. And again, divided by negative 1, I get y equals 1. So at the point x is 0, y is 1. It's that point right there. If I do the same thing now, but instead of x, I state that y is 0. So y equals 0. I have 2x minus 0 equals negative 1. That gives me 2x equals negative 1. dividing both sides by 2, I get x equals negative 1/2. So at y equals 0, that means on my y-axis, y is 0, x is negative 1/2. That is that point right there. And now if I go down 1/2, down 1/2, I can start to build my line just from those 2 points. So this is an alternate method of graphing a line if you don't want to solve for y. I can take the other equation, x plus y equals negative 2. State x equals 0. That means 0 plus y equals negative 2. That means y equals negative 2. So at x is 0, y is negative 2 is this point right here. And then stating that y equals 0, I have x plus 0 equals negative 2. And that gives me x equals negative 2. So that means on the y-axis, when y is 0, when y is 0, x is negative 2. So that's out here. From those 2 points, I can build a line. And again, we see we cross right here. And for all of your problems, the lines will cross on the crosshairs. They will cross on the lines. So that is negative 1 comma negative 1. Again, x equals negative 1 is your solution. You have 2 different methods. Choose which one works for you. There are times when you may need to see the slope, and you'll only really see the slope from either counting these out from the graph or going back and solving for y equals mx plus b format. I hope this helps with today's work. I'll be back tomorrow.